Okay, so today we are going to use Photoshop to edit some images and change the background, add a word, and make an anniversary card. We have this old picture. Going to open those two. Photoshop CC. First, I'm going to come to this wedding picture. And then I need to go here and check the image size, 11 by 14, which I need is 13 by 10.5. So I'm going to leave right now here. I'm going to just click this background image. I'm going to get rid of the right eye. Make sure it is in the RGB color mode, which image mode is RGB color, because get rid of right eye only working on the RGB color mode. So in here, underneath the spot healing brush tool has a right eye tool. We select that and click here. Just drag here. Darker here. So you check the result. Sometimes if you feel it's too dark, you can go back by using the history panel. Remember, history panel is our best friend to redo and undo stuff. So I'm going to change the darken amount to 85%. Okay, now use my command -2. Still a little too dark. Go back. Change to lighter. Okay. Okay, this one probably is better. Yeah, this one is better than the one before. So the guy's eye, I'm going to leave that. The next part, I'm going to change the background. Going to use the quick selection tool using my bracket. So if you select too much, it's easy. You can just hold down the Alt and Option key. Still using the quick selection tool. Shift key, if you hold a Shift key, is adding. If you use the Alt and Option, it's going to be reduce the selection area. This we need to add a selection area and change the brush size. Adding it. Okay. Adding the selection. Alt and Option key. This need to be in the selection area. using your hand tool to move this down and quick selection tool, adding the area, remove. And this we need to adding the selection. Okay, this we need to add selection to the border, and then Command plus is a zoom in, and space bar is the tool we can move the document around and to check your selection. I think that's pretty good selection. Alright, and then after this we are going to use the layer mask. Remember, layer mask is very important concept. Layer mask is a grayscale image. It is resolution dependent image and it helps us to make the judgment without damage the original picture. Quick selection tool. Select inverse. Refine edge. Looking good. So we can using this tool on the refined edge. So I'm going to use this pen tool to work around the edge. Go up. Along the dress. Photoshop is going to determine which part is background to delete it, which part is the image to keep it. Okay, I think we made a good, and select this smart radius and add this. Make sure it's on the new layer with a layer mask, and you say okay. It's adding this to here. So we are going to do another adjustment layer to make the color of the dress brighter. Curve line. Click this. It's a little bit too much. Okay. That's pretty good. And then we are going to move the image, the background image, to here. So we come to window, arrange to up. Going to just use the move tool. Apple A, select all, use the move tool to move this here. Close this image. Set this to the background image. Here. Going to Command T is a free transform. Going to enlarge this. Yep. So going to change. Looks like we need to adjust this mask because this area is looking no good. Mask edge. Going to see. Still a little bit. Going to use the eraser tool. Add a little bit here. Use the pen tool. Add a little bit mask here. Make sure the layer mask is a grayscale image, as we all know, and then it needs to be black on the front. Okay, use move tool, the hand tool to move this. It's a little bit too much. So we are adding more mask around this couple. one is pretty good, except that this one we need to get rid of a little bit more. Okay, here. Add it here. Okay. Here we're adding here. Change this. Okay. Okay. So far, this we modified the layer mask. Now we need to. This picture looking a little bit too much blue inside. We need to click the hue saturation. Need to change this color. This is better. Command T again. We need to change some size for the background. And we need to get rid of the guy sitting there. The magic lasso tool, which is one of the selection tool here. Let's see, sometimes if we see using the content aware, so we can get rid of him. Yep. The only problem is this chair. I need to add back to here, which is open this, the other background image again. Yeah. Arrange to up vertical. Going to bring this Apple A. Using the move tool, bring this here. Going to add some chairs here, so we are going to add some row here. Going to make the we're going to use the same thing we learned today. We're going to change the opacity on the front. I'm going to use the magic wand. So what I need from the layers we just import is only the chairs. So I'm going to get rid of the rest. I think I Option Alt is reduce the selection. I'm going to click delay. Okay, now I'm going to put this opacity back. Okay, it's adding 2 more rows here. Going to do this. So possibly this one doesn't look that nice. I'm going to cut this out. Including this little thing. Okay. And then this part I need to get rid of as well. Okay. Then at the bottom layer, I see there's something here, so I need to use my clone stamp tool. Make sure you have the right size, and Alt option, click here, and then we get rid of this. We don't need this. We just need a wall here. Just double check. We have extra things here we need to get rid of. Okay. Then let's come back here and adding more things here, like a rectangle marquee tool, and remove extra space here. Another feature here, get rid of that. As we said, this one we can always, because we're using adjustment layer, we can always come back and change it. I think this would be better once you print it out. Alright. There is a line here, so we can easily get rid of that one using the patch tool. computer, so it's not there. All right. Okay, that's fine. So we finished the first step, and then the second step is to show the image size is 11 by 14, and we need to change to 13 by 10 to 5. So which I just need to shrink this image down because I don't want to shrink the rest of the size. Okay, make sure you hold down your shift key while you're doing this. Need to move the chair a little bit there. Get rid of more here. We go back to our mask and we need to add more masking here. Thinking to do using my lasso tool to make another selection here. Edit, copy, and create a new layer. And we can paste in place. I'm going to transform, flip horizontal. I'm going to move this here. Going to Command T and do a little twisting thing. Apply. So I think this will give better result than the one before. Okay, then I'm going to get rid of this chair. So which I'm going to use this feather. patch tool, or let's see, fill content aware. No, this time content aware doesn't work. So I'm going to do the patch tool. Okay, it's much better. I'm going to get rid of some parts here. Use the content aware tool, move tool to change this. I'm going to copy, which is here. Copy this part. Okay, that's much better. Again, using this. Patch tool, now it's going to move here. Finish this, and then we need to add some canvas size. So this one is the reference point. You put it in the center, it's going to just increase the, let me do this first, cropping first. Crop, going to get rid of this, come back to ratio. This is going to be 14 by 11. By 11 here. Okay. Then we have some little bit modifying it down here. It's easy. Okay, down there. Patch tool again. Here. There are some scratches on the picture. Other thing. This one's here. Clone tool. This part we need to get rid of. Alright. By clicking, you can see what is the stuff you need to modify. I have this here. So we need to add a mask. Yep. Okay, change the bracket, change the size. Okay, that's pretty good. Adding some mask again, click the mask area, the layer mask. Change this. Okay. And now we need to filter. Noise, dust and scratches. Get rid of some scratches on the picture. Okay, that's good. Come back here. We need to save this. And then we need to change the canvas size. It's going to be 12 by 15. So it's going to add a white border or transparent border for this one. Which is good. And then the next thing we are going to do is save this. We are going to add some text. On the layer panel, click this new layer and name this text. Actually, it's good you always name all the layers, but I'm like kind of rush, so I didn't name the other layers. I just named this. Going to use my type tool. Going to put a word here. This. So I'm going to double click this T to access this layer. I'm going to change the word to size and I'm going to change the color to white. I'm going to change the font to something substantial. The font face, something really okay. And the next I'm going to do another line, which is here. I'm going to use this horizontal type mask tool. Click this and or S1 or survey. Going to change this to some kind of a fancy like a scripting letter. So I'm going to use my arrow key to move this here. hold down your shift key, that will help because the arrow key only move 1 pixel. The shift key will help you to move 10 pixels every time you click. And then we come to use the gradient tool. Create a new layer, layer 4. Want to see if a gradient looks good. Kind of. Yeah. Okay, 50th anniversary. And I'm going to use on the layers, I'm going to add, double click it. I'm going to add a layer style. I'm going to add drop shadow. That will help the text is readable. 50th anniversary. And if we want to copy the same shadow on here, we can just hold down your option and hold down your option and click this FX and drop it here. So the same layer, the Salvatore and the Elizabeth, is adding the same shadow as the anniversary. Okay. If by any reason you want this to have some kind of effect, which is here, so you can click and doing some fancy arch. Like look like is the word is going along her dress. Use this to move this here, and I'm changing the 50th anniversary using my move tool. I'm putting this here. I'm going to add a border, creating another layer. Filling the color, selecting the magic wand tool is another selection tool. Filling the color with, going to pick a color from this kind of bluish green. Okay, so I'm going to change this. Command D is a deselect. I'm going to move this word a little bit up and change the size. I'm going to change the size a little bit smaller. Going to add a same effect here. So on the border, on the picture, on here, I'm going to add a shadow, which I'm going to create another layer called the shadow. Going to put at the back of the image. Make sure you have a feather 3 now. I think I can do this and just added a few. The color, the background, foreground color. So that doesn't look very good, and then I delete it. So I'm going to extra thing. The glad I'm checking, so it's here. Okay. Then I go back here, the background. I'm going to add the same dropping shadow thing. Just double click it and drop shadow. Okay, that's better. The last thing I'm going to do is add this ring. So I'm going to open Photoshop CC here. Instead of doing this copy and paste and dragging it, I'm going to use it's called the Smart Object. I'm going to just drag from here to dump it here. So you will see the difference. Why I'm doing this? Here it has a little icon. The ring doesn't matter. I'm going to shrink it down or enlarge it. It's going to keep the quality. For instance, if I'm not doing this, I just say, okay, what I'm not using object, smart object, I'm just say Apple A, Apple C, and I'm copy here, I create a new layer, say copy here, and say Apple V, and then now I say, okay, I want to enlarge it. I want to shrink it first. I want to shrink it. Now I regret. I say, I don't want to shrink it. I want to keep original size or even bigger. I enlarge it. Then I say, no, I want to shrink it again. Then I want to enlarge again. See, the picture actually is getting blurry. Probably this one doesn't show that much. But this one, because it is a smart object, if I say I want to change it, make it smaller, tiny, 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 and now I want to enlarge it, big. The quality keep the same. That's the reason it's good to use a smart object. Smart object will not change the quality. It's always keep original picture's quality. The smart object always has a little icon here. All right. So I'm going to delete this layer and going to add a few wording here. Okay. Just make party, anniversary, address, 71st Avenue, Forest Hills, and we change to align the we change the size, the font, and also we change we don't need so bold. So we come here, we use this one. And we talk about the space in between the lines. I don't know if you guys still remember. That is the leading. So if we want to change this character, is here. Right now it's 48. If we want to change to 60, it's adding more space. the space in between the lines is leading, so we change to 30. It's a closer. 36. So we all go to the 36, and then the space in between each letter, the space in between the letters, we call it tracking. Right now the tracking is 200. I think it's too much. You can select them all and change with the 75, 50. Okay, the space in between the characters, the two characters, this one is called kerning, which is this here. See, if I blow bigger, here you can see I can change the number. So the only thing changed is the spacing in between these two. All right. That's how you change kerning, tracking, and leading. All right, then we save as poster. Okay, now this tutorial